Two tools. Two tools. Two tools. No clue.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Two Tools No Clue podcast. I'm Anna,
And I'm Jaden.
and on today's mini-sode, mini but great, we have no clue about seed banks. Why are they important, and why are they problematic? We have no clue, but we're about to find out together, so fasten your tool belt.
Yeah.
You really started that train.
Sorry. But not sorry.
So last week, I mentioned the podcast Food Friends, Home Cooking Made Easy, episode 43, and they interviewed Javier Lara, a Nawa from Mexico and program manager of Anna Hawk Farm.
Cool.
Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Do you remember him?
You better.
We talked about his connection to the Three Sisters companion crops, the dishes you can make with them, and how the plants we consider weeds can be packed with way more nutrients than anything we can find at the store, amongst other things. If you haven't listened to that episode, go listen to it. You don't need to listen to it to figure out what's happening in this episode,
Yeah.
but I'm still going to tell you to go listen to it, obviously.
And just a side note, I guess I think the one thing that I didn't expect from using like the totality of your garden and stuff like that until we really started gardening.
Yeah.
You know, like today we're gonna go to a cookout and we let our Italian garlic go way too long, and so we had these huge scape,
Mm-hmm.
like they're
Fibrous.
fibrous, and you can actually do a lot of things with them. I found a cool recipe. We're gonna roast them up, similar to asparagus, and I'm excited.
The woody parts
Mhm.
I've chopped up and put in my dehydrator, and we're gonna grind those up and then crush them up into a fine garlic scape powder. So
Yeah,
that's something else. If you're like us and you procrastinate your garden and you let things go a little too long, you can still find ways to use them.
yeah, like it's never too late in a sense. You can always find some use out of the things in a garden, even if it's just happy little accidents.
Yeah. And speaking of companion planting, like we have a lot of wasted space in our garden
Yeah,
still. We could be
yeah.
doing better. So,
Anna gets nervous about plant spacing, and it comes from a place of love. She wants her plants to do as best as they can. She wants them to have the space to thrive. Meanwhile, I'm literally like, put that baddie next to that bitch, and they're gonna do whatever they want. I finally convinced Anna. I didn't even convince her. I just did it. We have a what do they call them? Like that raised garden bed we have? Is that what it is
yeah.
considered still? It's a galvanized container. It stands on a metal frame. It's on our front porch. And I just got plants. I got two flowering native plants that are perennials that will come back every year. And then I put a lavender plant in the middle. And then on the back row, it's all these snow peas that are gonna grow up on the fence. And Anna, as soon as she saw it, she was like, "They don't have enough space." And I'm like, "Anna, that they're gonna do great," and they are. They're all doing great.
They are
The
doing
peas
great.
they're starting to grow up, and so I think Anna's starting to realize, hopefully, that we can do a lot more in our beds. But we'll try next year.
Yeah. So go listen to that episode. I also briefly mentioned in that episode that Javier talked about how he's had to jump through hoops to acquire the native seeds his ancestors grew.
Yeah.
And that's if he's able to acquire them from seed banks. And so seed banks are what we're going to get into in this mini-sode. Do you have any prior knowledge about seed banks?
I think the seed bank knowledge that I have is more of the greedy side of seed banks, so I'm interested to see what you say.
What do you mean greedy side?
Like, just like government hoarding, seeds getting lost, like not having access to,
Mm,
just things like that. I very much think of like wartime and what your government will or will not provide for you. And you
right.
really need, like, I know I've kind of ranted about that before, but that's what I think of.
Yeah.
But I know there's way more benefits. Scientists really kind of going for it, agricologists, whatever they're called. I'm sorry, I'm not being very good with my words right now. But But yeah, that's what I kind of think of, which I guess is the more negative side.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So, first things first, the definition of seed banking, according to climatesustainabilitydirectory.com, is quote, the process of collecting, drying, cleaning, and storing seeds from diverse plant species under controlled conditions. This methodical approach is undertaken to safeguard plant biodiversity, essentially creating a living library of genetic resources, as well as, quote, a series of intricate steps from meticulous seed collection protocols to advanced cryopreservation techniques. The description shifts from a simple seed storage facility to a dynamic conservation center, actively engaged in research, monitoring, and adaptive management of its
Mm.
seed collections.
I mean, technically, you kind of have a seed bank.
Yeah, kind of.
And I will, sorry, call you out. It's not very organized. Like sometimes I will just like go to take something off the top of the microwave and there'll be a napkin and it'll just be like seeds will just fall out. I'm like, ah,
It's just a bunch of
what the
seeds
heck
in a
are
napkin.
these? And I now know they're at least seeds, but at first it would scare me. I'd be like, what the heck is that?
It's usually pepper seeds.
And we've grown things from her seeds. So like, don't get me wrong, like she's done it correctly, but like that.
Yeah.
That's kinda how the process starts, is it dries out on top of the microwave
And then it just stays there for years until I finally put them in their packages.
yeah.
So basically, they're establishments that collect and store seeds in climate controlled chambers for future generations. And so we'll have them in the event of an emergency or climate disaster.
Who will have them?
Exactly. Who will have them is the question. When seeds are dormant, they can survive for quite a long time under the right conditions. Fun fact, we're talking anywhere from decades to 1,000 years. A full ass millennium.
Okay, so how do you get your seeds to last that long? Are you gonna tell us?
I don't know, it's just the right conditions.
Oh, okay. Well, we should
Probably
definitely look
freezing
that
them.
up. I have questions about that, and I've been trying to keep quiet about it, but I guess I'm gonna ask now. I don't understand how that happens because when they thaw out, like, won't they get soggy? Like, I feel like maybe I'm overthinking this. Obviously, at some point, seeds have to get wet.
Yeah. They
So,
need
like,
water to
once you
grow.
thaw them out, is it, like, go time? Like, is that, like, a one and done situation? Like, that kind of makes
I'm
me
not sure about
overwhelmed.
that, but when we got the sequoia seed
Mhm.
from Walmart, the little, like,
Oh, yeah.
packaged
Yep.
sequoia seed, it told you to put it in the fridge for a couple weeks, I think, and it
Oh,
tricks
yeah.
the seed into thinking winter has passed and that it's spring and it's time
Okay,
to
so it's
grow.
go time then once
Yeah,
you
but
take
that
them out.
I feel like some seeds don't do well with freezing. I feel like if it's very dependent on the seed itself.
Okay.
So the goal and purpose of seed banks, as I mentioned, is to create a living library and to protect and store seeds for future generations. It's considered especially important now when climate change and habitat destruction are putting a strain on many native plant species, and the endangered list is only growing. The stored seeds are often used in programs where they go out and restore habitats and reintroduce native plants to them, which is kind of cool.
That is really cool.
They're also used for research and education, and they claim the seeds can even be used for their genetics to improve crop resilience to things like pests, diseases, and even climate change, which is interesting. And this is where we would get into like GMOs and genetically modified plants. And that is a big topic for
Yeah.
another day.
I go back and forth on that. I think it's one of the brilliant and also terrifying things that humans are able to do.
Yeah,
Like, in some senses, like, it's good. Animals do that. Animals change, and just because, humans, like, we adapt to a certain point, but our adaptations are more like how we think, how we grow. Like, our brain is able to figure out these things that other animals might not be able to physically do just because of, they don't have fingers. They don't, just
right.
those small things. But it also can be very terrifying depending on what they're doing, how they're doing it, like what they're using to do it. Like, and yeah,
It's
I'm
all about the
definitely a different
intentions
day.
and the
Yeah,
ethics.
yeah.
It seems the importance of seed banks mounts as global biodiversity declines due to climate change, natural disasters, and wars. And speaking of wars, Ukraine's National Gene Bank of Plants in Kharkiv was severely damaged by Russian shelling in 2022.
hmm
But thankfully, the collection was not fully destroyed thanks to underground vaults. How
Yeah.
badass is that?
It's really interesting because that's usually where the majority of all those things in countries are stored. And it kind of goes to show you how actually important it is.
Yeah,
But we don't put value like that. We sell, well, not we, but like, the burpees and all that, like these not half-ass seeds, but they're seeds, and then the real deals are underground,
right.
so they don't get blown up.
Very true.
Yeah.
Ecosystems, food chains, and the planet's health as a whole depend on the native plant species that we are rapidly losing. Scientists estimate we'll lose 25% of the world's plants within the next 50 years. Experts also predict that during the next 50 years, a further 1 billion hectares of wilderness will be converted to farmland in developing countries alone. And that's 2.5 billion acres, give or take. So I'll be 80 years old in 50 years, and people are still having kids.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. And this website said the phrase by 2010. So this website and this article could be 15 plus years old,
Oh, we're fucked.
which means we're down to 35 years instead of 50 years.
Yeah.
And a kid born today will potentially be 35 when we've lost 25% of the world's plants.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I mean, you also have to think about it. There has been at least a decade of backward thinking politics, which means programs being cut, research being cut.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we had in our country 4 years, but our country just isn't impacted. You can see it globally every time there's a horrible president in America because we are a huge platform internationally and we suck at it.
Yep.
We literally suck at it. And even in Scotland now, Scotland is going backwards. It's so sad to see, them fighting and like protesting in the streets about immigrants not being able to be there. Like it is
Yikes.
terrifying. It is, people's homes being burned down because they're Muslim. Like that is crazy. Like that is insane to me. And I can't even believe that it's happening in the United Kingdom. But like it's very similar where research goes, it doesn't get the funding, so it doesn't happen. And so, yeah, that probably is 15 years ago because,
Mhm.
Obama,
Right. Very true.
and like
Oh, wow. Yeah.
it's a
It
thing
has been that
and it's
long.
scary because, I've been finding that throughout researching a lot of the things that we're doing. A lot of the articles are at a sense outdated and it makes you think it really puts it in perspective like, wow, time has passed
Mhm.
and we have wasted it. We have
Yeah.
wasted it fighting each other, fighting corrupt politicians. Like, and yes, okay, that is important. Our voice isn't being heard. We need to focus on that. But at the same time, everything is still dying.
Yeah.
We're still losing time to research these things.
I
So,
remember in 2016, I had lost my phone, so I was doing a lot of radio listening,
mhm,
and I was listening to NPR, and it was obviously the presidential elections. It was
yep,
Hillary versus Trump,
yep,
and they were going back and forth between how well each candidate was doing and then how close we were to the red zone, quote unquote, which was like a place in climate change where there is no going back. We
yeah,
are fucked. And that was 10 years ago.
yeah. And it's crazy
And
to
it's
me.
it's
Oh, sorry.
exponentially gotten worse.
Yeah. Yeah, people mock it. It's wild. What are you mocking? a fast track to your own death, your grandchildren's demise. Like,
Your
what
own
are you trying to
children's
do?
demise? We're that
Yeah.
close, people. We're that close.
So yeah, it is scary to think about. Sorry, I know that was a
Yeah.
off
Anyway,
rant, but
get off my soapbox.
yeah, sorry.
There are 4 different types of seed banks.
Sorry, babe. Very cool.
There are base seed banks, which are for long-term conservation. Active seed banks, which deal with distribution, research, restoration, and breeding.
So like seasonal planting, so like burpee and stuff like that. Is that what that be considered?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna
commercial,
say, yeah.
right?
I didn't
Okay.
really dive into
Okay.
any of
I was
these,
just wondering.
but just from what the other ones say, I think that is what that would be.
Yeah.
If that's even a seed bank. I don't even know if
Well,
burpees
just
is
because like
considered a
it's
seed bank.
continuous, like that's what its purpose is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I should have looked into that. There's also field gene banks for species that cannot be seed banked, also known as recalcitrant seeds.
What kind of plants are those?
So, recalcitrant seeds are seeds produced primarily by woody species that are not desiccation sensitive and chilling sensitive, meaning they cannot survive drying to a low moisture content or storage at freezing temperatures. So, those are the seeds that wouldn't do well under the cryopreservation that we were talking about. Are these
Interesting. So what, they just go
recals?
they must be like short-lived dormant seeds or
Sounds
something
like
like
it.
that?
Yeah.
So like probably similar to the one like some of the ones that I got from Urban Seeds. Remember when I got all the
Oh,
fancy ones?
yeah.
Some of them I think were kind of like that.
Okay.
Um, just by the way they were wrapped. You
Hmm.
know?
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. You guys should check that out. Urbanseeds.com.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but hey, you want to send us some seeds, I got you,
Hell
Urban
yeah.
Seeds, all day. From indoor plants, outdoor plants, food, not food. They have a lot of cool stuff. You should check it out.
Heck yeah. And the last are community seed banks, which are local varieties, farmers' varieties, and they're used for food security.
Anna,
What?
we should start a community seed bank.
We need to see if the library already, because some libraries have a seed distribution system where you can get a couple packets of seeds for free. So check your
Oh my
local
gosh,
libraries. If you didn't know about that, go check them out.
that's a genius idea. My brain's on fire
But
about it
we could
right
be in
now.
cahoots with them if not, or
Yeah.
if so. And
Yo,
if not, we
I
could do our
could
own.
convince people to give me free seeds for
The
a
thing
good
with
cause.
seeds that sketches me out is like the hybridization. It's like so easy. One bee just has to visit one other plant and then that seed is a hybrid.
Oh, well, that happens all the time in the garden.
Yeah. That might be why these peppers aren't doing too hot. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Anyway. Also, if you're researching seed banks, you'll see 2 terms come up a lot. In situ, which is Latin for in the place and refers to studying, treating, or conserving the seeds in their natural, original, or on site locations. And
Okay.
ex situ, which is Latin for out of the place and involves moving the seeds to a controlled, artificial, or off site environment.
Interesting. How
Min-
d
oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
How do you think you'd be able to tell? Maybe it's just dependent on seeds and what they need, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minielts.com said, quote, there are about 1,470 seed banks scattered around the globe with a combined total of 5.4 million samples, of which perhaps 2 million are distinct non-duplicates. Most preserve genetic material for agriculture use in order to ensure crop diversity. Others aim to conserve wild species, although only 15% of all bank plants are wild.
Holy crap. What else is wild is Stevie literally just ripped one. Stevie, go back on your bed.
I don't smell anything.
I've been trying not to make a scene for a minute either.
So basically, in nearly 1,500 seed banks, 5.4 million samples, 2 million of those are non duplicates.
Yeah, that's insane.
meaning they're the only sample of their kind.
Like, why? Why not just get another one?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Like, see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't that seem evil? Sorry. The end of the world, they're like, well, I got the one who wants it. $1 million for this bell pepper seed.
Literally.
Not a packet.
And then only 15% of those 5.4 million samples are from wild plants.
And I wonder how much are edible. I didn't even think about that.
True.
This could be for anything,
Very true.
because when you were talking about earlier how you were saying like 50% of the world's plants are in danger at this point,
Hmm.
that's terrifying. There are so many plants. Like I can't we think of basic plants, like that's it. Depending on where you live in your region, you're like maple tree. Like like
Yeah.
it's so small and it's not. Like there's so many plants that we'll never even know exist because we
Yeah.
don't live in the deep, deep jungles.
Seriously.
And like what they do, like medicinally
There are
and
plants that we'll never know exist in our backyard.
exactly. Sorry. Go ahead.
So, John Tradescant and Sir Joseph Banks are two English botanists who are credited for being the first seed hunters, aka conservationists who collect seeds from the wild specifically for preservation.
Okay.
So, John Tradescant the Elder is known as Britain's first great plant hunter, and his collection was displayed at the Museum Tradescantianum. Fun fact, the Museum Tradescantianum was England's first museum to be open to the public.
That's really cool.
And it unfortunately closed in 1662 when John Tradescant the Younger, his son, who was
Mhm.
also a famous botanist, died.
Oh, dang.
Another fun fact, their tombs are now the centerpiece of the Garden Museum in London.
Oh, that's really cool that they, are where they kind of always wanted to be.
Right?
That's pretty cool.
And being honored
Yeah,
for what they
exactly.
did. On to Sir Joseph Banks, unfortunately. He was not only a botanist, but also the president of the Royal Society, who played a pivotal role in colonizing Australia. Yikes!
Yeah.
Fun fact, this guy has around 80 species of plants named after him.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay. Just the evil part.
Yeah,
Why does it always have to
literally.
be the evil part?
There's
Like,
always one. So, obviously, this is where we get into the more problematic side of seed banks. Javier, who was interviewed in the Food Friends podcast episode, talked about how he was eager to order and start growing the native seeds his ancestors grew in what is now Mexico, but that was unfortunately naive of him. He said here in the US, seed banking is a huge industry and people
Mhm.
make a lot of profit from seed hunting for native seeds. Many seed providers have countless indigenous communities' native plants and obviously refuse to just hand them over.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that the programs I mentioned earlier are benefiting indigenous communities or returning their native species to their lands, but who am I to say? And did you know that large companies can patent seeds?
Yes, I did, and it's evil.
The most famous example is probably the Monsanto soybean, which are genetically modified and patented to resist a certain herbicide. So farmers can spray their fields and kill the weeds, but the soybean won't be affected. Patenting a seed means that they control and own the rights to it, preventing others from producing, selling, or importing it without permission. I can't wrap my mind around patenting a living, growing
Yeah.
thing. Like, that's just insane to
It's
me.
just, I know, like, to profit on food is just such a strange concept that we run on.
Mm-hmm.
I work for a grocery store.
Yeah.
I get yelled at about things being empty, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's very different than I think what it should be,
Yeah. I
because
agree.
someone has control over a living thing.
Right. Fun fact, these patents can usually last around 20 years. Companies are also creating hybrids from native plants and patenting the result, making them their property.
Interesting.
So they can just exploit these hybrid natives as much as they want.
Yeah.
Just as an example of the exploitation, Javier said papaloquilate is a native plant to Mexico
Mm-hmm.
that is very hard to grow in Oregon and even harder to get the seeds from. And you can order from companies that grow the plants in perfect microclimates to produce the seeds, but for $7 you get about 10 seeds. So it's almost $1 per seed.
Wow.
So obviously growing these natives on a large scale is extremely
Yeah.
expensive. However, since the plant is so particular and getting seeds from them outside of that microclimate is so rare, if you want to grow these plants, you're pretty much reliant on these big seed companies.
I never
Monsanto has
thought of it
even
that way.
Monsanto has even gone so far as to pursue legal action against farmers who saved Monsanto trademarked seeds from their year's crops, forcing them to spend money on new seeds every single year. We should do a whole episode on Monsanto and get
Yo,
canceled. But
devil. Cancel me, you devil.
literally
Ugh.
calling you out.
I'd spit on the ground.
Seriously.
Jeez, man. Yeah. There's evil people, that's for fucking sure.
They all came weeping out of someone's vagina.
Yes, they did. Dave Matthews. Dave Matthews quote.
Javier also talked about how he is working on getting a permit through the USDA to acquire his native Mexican seeds from a seed bank in Germany, which I kind of mentioned at the top of last week's episode. But because these seeds are in Germany, he has to go through a whole process of getting permission and approval to have them shipped over and enter the US.
I was about to say, like, when we went to Scotland, you were like joking about, like, oh, well, and I'm like, no, you will not take these seeds because that is definitely how you will get stopped
I was
right
like,
at
I
the
want to bring this
border.
pine cone home. And he was like, nope.
Nope.
Javier said, quote, what's ironic to me is that we have to go to a foreign country to get our traditional ancestral plants. Although the future may seem bleak with evil mega corporations like Monsanto controlling the seeds that are supposed to be a lifeline to us in the future, as well as gatekeeping indigenous seeds, there are some indigenous communities who've been able to start seed banking their own seeds on their own terms.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So the Cherokee Nation Seed Bank Garden and Native Plant Site is one example. The homepage of their website says, quote, the seed bank is a plant and cultural preservation program that provides seeds to tribal citizens who are interested in growing traditional Cherokee crops. End quote. It was established in 2006 as a means to preserve Cherokee heirloom crops. They're so serious about the native integrity of the seeds they distribute that they tell you exactly how and when to plant the seeds you acquire.
Oh, wow.
Quote, it's the tribe's pleasure to provide Cherokee plants and seeds. Please note the seed bank contains rare cultivars that are not commercially available and represent centuries of Cherokee culture and agriculture. It is important to preserve these rare genetics, so please be mindful of the directions denoted in this planting guide. Any divergence from these instructions could result in hybridization and loss of the plant's genetic integrity. End quote. So they take this shit seriously. They're like, don't fuck up our seeds. We're
Yeah.
trusting you.
Yeah.
So that, my friends, is the good and the bad, the pros and the cons, the light and the dark of seed banks. What are your thoughts? Are seed banks beneficial or are corporations ruining them?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I really think they are beneficial. They're necessary. Because if you think about it, at the end of the day, like after this, I literally just want to go buy a bunch of seeds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you never know. And I feel like they try to trick us every growing season too. If you keep your seeds for more than one season, they're still gonna grow if you can keep them in a maintained setting.
Right.
I think they're gonna be okay. Like we've skipped a season and then grown them and they did completely fine. I feel like these big companies just try to trick you.
Yeah.
with
I mean,
the
seeds are so
packed
incredible.
on.
There are seeds that we have attempted to plant when we were starting
Mm-hmm.
seeds to grow in our garden. We'll like put them in these little black containers. And the ones that do grow, we pluck them out and we replant them in bigger pots.
Mm-hmm.
And then we discard the soil and kind of like recycle it the next year. And sometimes those seeds from previous years decide,
Yes.
now's a good time to sprout. We've had like kale seeds in our,
Tomatoes, the bell peppers
random, just
always.
sprouting, like now's a good time.
Yeah, this is my season.
They're just so particular.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that there could be a benefit to it if it was for community, if it
Yeah.
was for survival, 100%. It honestly has me
Not
thinking,
profit.
yeah, it honestly has me thinking that maybe we need to be looking into something similar to that Cherokee program, but where it maybe be attached to like a research program or a seed banking program where like you purchase the seeds and the money goes towards something like that rather
Right.
than it going to Ferrymore, Spurpy, yeah,
Livingston.
Livingston, whatever the heck. No offense to all y'all.
Yeah, we need to keep our money local.
Yeah, just and if not local, especially for like seeds and stuff like that, like a good cause,
Right.
like
Yeah.
to the preservation of. But
Yeah.
this was a really cool mini episode.
Thanks.
Definitely opened up a can of worms for a few more other episodes, though, I'd say.
Yeah, seriously. Some big episodes.
Yeah.
All right, so today is Thursday, July 9th. Armadillos mate now.
Oh, I wonder. Never mind.
And we have a proverb, puff not against the wind. Today is the best day to cut hair to discourage growth, color hair, ask for a loan, and harvest below ground crops. Get your
Okay.
carrots out of there.
Yep. I don't think our carrots.
No, I don't think so
No,
either.
no. Okay.
Not in not in New England.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
let New England friends don't listen to this. If you're in California though.
Yeah. If you're in 5, they ain't alive.
Zone 5 is not ready.
Zone 5, they ain't alive. Well, we hope you all had a safe and happy 4th of July. We hope the week was good to you. We can't wait to see you again next week.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Two Tools No Clue. You can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Two Tools No Clue. And you can email us your stories, your comments, your concerns, anything. Just say hi at Two Tools No Clue podcast at gmail.com. And also, you guys, we have like a very specific amount of listeners every week. So we know some of you guys are regulars. We love you so much.
Hi.
And if you haven't already, if you could please rate and review our podcast, especially on Apple Podcasts, that would seriously help us get noticed by other people who might become regulars like your awesome selves.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys tuning in every week. We love you. We hope this brings a good laugh or even just some good information. I hope it sparks something in your brain because I feel like that kind of does that for us every week. And
if we've gotten you inspired about anything, we've done our job.
Yeah, because I mean, we're at least over here inspiring ourselves, and that was the whole purpose of this podcast. At the end of the day, it's given us the time to like come together every week, keep our homestead, growing in a positive way, and we've been learning a lot of really cool stuff.
A lot.
And it's funny because sometimes even after the podcast, like I'll go out and just do my regular week, and then I'll see something, and I'll be like, oh, this has been right in front of me the entire time.
Right? And technically, this is our 20th episode.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
High five. So Anna told me at the beginning of this that most podcasts don't make it past episode 7. So
we recorded 7 episodes before we even launched.
Yeah,
we
were not messing around. It's been really exciting, and I'm really proud of us. So
yeah,
can't wait to keep on going.
Thank you to everyone who's been
Yeah.
supporting and listening in any way, even just liking our TikToks. It's been amazing. We
Yeah.
love you guys.
Yeah, we love you all so much, and we hope you have a great week.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Two tools. Two tools. Two tools. No!